something, I think, inviting people to ask me questions.
Oh, so, ask Kat questions. That's good.
Yeah. So, okay. So then I'm going to stream to my audience. Let's see if it'll let me do that today. Select a destination. Things. State and lending. Kat and Dan talk. Okay, there we go. Let's see if it'll let me do it. Save changes. It says I've lost act. So that's too bad. All right, so let me get rid of this. Okay, never mind streaming to Facebook. I wanted to, but it's not working. Hi, guys. Hi, Kat Howard here with Windermere in Woodinville, Washington, in the sunny area of Clearview.
Anyway. On the sunny side of the street.
And you can definitely see it's not sunny today. And theoretically, you guys, it's still summer. No, is it? Oh, maybe did fall start today? Or is that tomorrow?
I think tomorrow.
I don't know. Starts today or tomorrow.
Last day of summer.
Today's the last day of summer?
I think so.
Okay. Well, anyway, joined by Dan Mellis or vice versa. He's with Nexa Mortgage. And all things real estate and lending. My neighbor just drove down the driveway. Oh, my goodness. Okay, well, that was a little bit of a rocky start. Hey, Dan, how you doing today? Mr. Fat Tuesday in the house, guys.
We're doing pretty good.
Here he is.
Hello, Mr. Fat Tuesday. Oh, he's looking sharp.
His top pony's a little sideways. He just had a bath, so he's looking a little rough around the edges.
It's clean as a whistle. Clean as a whistle.
Not a single flea on him.
Not a single flea on him. That's right.
My little flea. Mister, that's
what did you say? My little flea bag? Did you call him?
I just called him my little flea bag. Well, that's a story for another day.
That's a story for another day. Well, I'll tell you what. Let's get this started with the bang.
Should we start off with a bang? Let's talk about my listing I put on the market last week.
In Auburn, yes, you got one in Auburn.
Yeah, at 2010 Riverview Drive Northeast in Auburn, Washington. It's listed at $750,000. It's 1,910 square feet. It's got a nice long driveway. You could probably park an RV or a boat in the driveway. There's no HOA. The house was built in 79, but it was completely remodeled. I believe even re-sheetrocked and textured in 2017. And getting it ready for the market, we painted the entire interior and had the hardwood floors refinished. And the hardwood floors are extended in all the rooms on the main floor.
Wow.
And we also had exterior paint on the outside touched up, had the roof cleaned, gutters cleaned, window tracks cleaned inside and out. We had cleaners come in and clean the home itself. We had new carpet installed. So we did all the things to get it ready for the market. We even had landscapers come in, clear the bank of the river, and leave a couple of trees for the salmon for shade because it is a salmon bearing stream. And anyway, and it's got a staircase that goes down to the river's edge. So right now the Green River is at one of its lowest points during the year because we obviously haven't really started our rainy season yet. But that river will rise. It is not in a flood zone, guys, so it does not require flood insurance.
Wow.
So very cool situation to be on a river, have it accessible, and be able to fish right out of your backyard.
And not be in a flood zone.
And it's not in a flood zone, which you guys is very unique situation. And the Green River, the house is located in one of the deeper sections, making it a great spot for fishing. Sometimes people try to get in the backyard there and start fishing along the bank, and it's private. It's not public land back there. As a matter of fact, the owners own all the way to the river bank, as I understand it. There is a 30-foot easement for the city or the county to maintain that dike, because there is an actual dike on the one side of the river. the inside corner where they're located. So it's should be protected from flooding. So that's amazing, I think. Anyway, really cool home. Very cool home. 4
Really?
bedrooms, 3 bathrooms. Every bathroom has a shower.
Wow.
So yeah, so really could be a neat place for somebody to pick up.
Yeah.
$750,000 in your waterfront, and you can hear the river at night. You know, in the house.
You
So
know,
it's kind of cool.
you put together an awesome video on it. Let's show the folks what the house looks like. I've got the video queued up. Let's take a
Yeah,
quick look. How's that?
totally. Yeah, let's
Okay,
do it.
let's see what we can do here. We'll share the screen and we'll get that done. There we go. And here we go.
Got the volume up? Nope. Don't have the volume on, Dan. Dan?
What's that, Kat?
There's no volume.
Oh, there's no volume. Oh, goodness. Oh, goodness. Well, I don't know what to do.
So there's a volume button there on the front of the screen. Left.
Wait a minute. Left. Hang on here.
To the right of the fast forward button is a volume button.
Yeah, that one right there. It's on full.
Yeah. Okay. And so it's not playing the volume. It's not playing.
Yeah, when I'm watching it, I can hear it, but that's on my computer, so that's the problem.
Oh, so for some reason it's not accessing your microphone.
It maybe that's the problem. It's my microphone that's the problem.
Maybe you turn the volume up on your laptop? Will that work?
It is.
It is.
Yep, all the way up.
Well, it might not work then. Try hitting it again, see if it'll.
We'll see if this works. Hang on. Maybe it doesn't. We'll have to work out these things.
Yeah, see, I should be hearing it and I'm not. That's too bad. That's too bad. Yeah. I mean, they can watch it, but there's no volume. Essentially, you guys, what I did was I had my photographer take a picture of me holding a fishing rod because it's located on the river, and I had her take a video of me casting the lure in front of the house, so it looks like it goes over the house and then into the Green River. And then the next shot is that I'm standing on the green railing, on the green staircase leading down to the river, and leaning on one side of the railing, and I'm reeling in a wiggling fish that was actually a dog toy that has batteries that makes it flop. We attached it to the end of the line, so it looks like I'm reeling in a live fish. Anyway, and then we cut to information about the house and doing a nice walkthrough tour. So it's 2.5 minutes long, and she's got music to it, and you can hear me talking over the video describing the house and the river and the setting there and everything. So kind of a neat. I don't know. I think my clients really liked it. It had 84 views before I posted it online. So clearly they sent it to some people. Are you there, Dan? Dan, I can't hear you. No, I've lost you. He's motioning for me to wait. Anyway. Hi, guys. Kat Howard here with Windermere Real Estate, Woodinville, Washington, pontificating. Sharing my view of the real estate world. Right now, we're talking about the listing I just put on the market last week in Auburn, Washington. It is $750,000, and it's really a cute house. It's a 2-story, built in 78, I believe. And anyway, oh, thank you. Somebody says my skin's absolutely glowing. That's from me laughing so much. My goofy entrance onto my live today. Anyway, so, oh my gosh. All right, Dan, are you back? Dan, I can't hear you.
How about now?
Now I can hear you. Dan's back.
There's something you said about unmuting yourself. I don't know how it got muted, but I got
I
muted.
don't know how you did either, but okay. Dan Mellis with Nexa Mortgage is here with us as well today, and he actually gets my clients the best rates ever.
Well, we do our best.
Because he's vow of poverty.
My vow of poverty, yes, which continues, but that's okay.
The vow of poverty continues. Anyway, he really does. He's often beating other people's rates, other lenders' rates out there. So Nexa Mortgage has access to a lot of different lending programs, which makes them unique in the industry because they can finance just about anything. Pretty sure about that.
Pretty darn close, yeah.
Like right down to VRBOs, right, Dan? So
yeah.
Thanks for the heart, you guys.
Yes.
Yeah. So, we can also do multifamily, right? You have access to commercial loans, right? HELOCs, right? Specialized HELOCs. Really, that one product you're talking about for Amanda sounds very interesting because they allow you to go up to 90% loan to value. Is that right?
Yes, that's right. And they, they do a great. The thing is, everything's kind of coming together with rates coming down. So it's a good time to be looking at. I know Amanda and Vidi are looking to do a renovation, but there's also, there are other ways to do renovation loans. It just so happened that's one of the beauties of working with Nexa is we do have all these different programs, and you can kind of compare, and then you say, okay,
I like this one, or this one works for my situation better. On refinancing, you guys, so just to kind of throw this out there, but refinancing is not even just about the rate, right? Of course, we want our payments lower, but if you financed more than 80%, then you're likely paying monthly insurance.
Yeah,
so
PMI.
And so if you refinance and your value has come up to where now you would, instead of, maybe you only put 10% down, and maybe now the value is $1 million instead of, 900 that you paid for it. And so it's gone up 10%. And so now you could refinance and get rid of the PMI. So that can be a way to lower your payment without even necessarily having to have a lower rate. But a lower rate is just added incentive to get refinanced. So, but I like to throw that out there because I think people forget, that it's more than just the rate. It's also getting rid of your monthly insurance.
Yeah, it is, and it's funny because when rates start coming down, it really loosens things up as far as some of the options that are available, things that you can do that you might not have been able to do before. It just opens up a much wider range of options that are available.
I mean, rates are down almost 2% from the high last year, right, Dan? And I'm talking about mortgage rates.
Yeah, they're down pretty close to 2% from the highs. Yeah. Come to think of it, yeah. So
I read that on Mortgage News Daily the other day, so I felt comfortable saying that.
Well, they're a step ahead of me. That's okay. I don't mind. But I had to think about that one. Truth is, they are almost 2% lower. Not quite, but
Than the high.
From the high, yeah. And the interesting thing is, the 10-year Treasury is only down about 140 basis points. So the mortgage-backed securities are doing better than the 10-year Treasuries right now. Yeah. So that's something to keep an eye. Hang on just a half second. Give me about 20 seconds, okay? Hang on.
Dan's got to go somewhere. I don't know where he's going. It's very clandestine.
Are you sure? I gotta plug right
so anyway, you guys, now's a good time to buy, in case you're wondering. So sometimes I'm like, you know what? Let's wait for fall, and then let's, let the inventory kind of stack up. And of course, it is fall, so as of tomorrow. But a lot of times, I'll tell people to hold off. You can get a little bit better deal as you get into November and December. But at this point, with interest rates having come down as much as they have, we've got a lot of inventory out there right now, more than we've had in a long, long time. King County's at 1.8 months supply of inventory. Snohomish County is 1.5 months, I believe. Let's see, Snohomish 1.5. Yeah, 1.5 months. And so those counties are both up dramatically compared to spring. So King County is probably just about doubled in the month supply of inventory. And so now can be an incredible time to take advantage of the lower interest rates. And hey, if interest rates do in fact continue to come down, Dan, then why couldn't they just refinance in another year? Right? So if what the Fed is saying is true and they actually do plan on reducing interest rates a quarter point, half point, consistently over the next year, if that in fact does happen and mortgage interest rates follow that, which normally they would precede the next rate cut. But if that did happen, then you could just refinance. Not that refinancing is free, but now you're going to pay less for the house than you will if interest rates go down. Just saying.
That's right.
Well, true. And if you don't know it's true, you do now. So don't wait for the interest rates to get too low. Right now, you have a bunch of sellers out there that are reducing price every week or two. And there's some pretty good deals out there. So because they're not getting off the market or getting sold when they really wanted to get sold by. So they're reducing price to try to get a buyer interested in their place. So
well, and since we started this live stream, this is right now, this weekend is the number one conflagration, if you will, or where it's confluence of events where interest rates are at the best levels that they've been at since we started this live stream. And not only that, but the housing market is one of the best housing markets you can have, or that we've seen for buyers, right? I mean, if I'm not mistaken. I mean,
that's
so
right,
you've got
because prices have come down a bit. So when I took a look at the August sales data and compared it to the July sales data, prices were down. It's not much, like $1 a foot, square foot. But the truth is that the prices are off the highs for the year. So you're not going to be paying as much now as you would have a couple of months ago. And you're less likely to have to compete. Although the market is picking up as buyers are catching on to the rates are significantly lower now. The market has started to pick back up again. So we'll see that in the data. So like, for instance, King County, 35% of sellers went under contract within the first 7 days on the market in King County if they listed their home.
Oh, did you say King County by chance?
I did.
Oh, let's go to the
go to the graphic. Yeah. So
let's go to the graphic. Yeah.
So King County, if you listed your home between September 1st and September 7th, you had a 35% chance of getting under contract. So those are pretty good numbers for this time of year. We had seen those numbers softening all summer. But I think that we're going to see those stabilize going forward. So I think it's going to continue to be somewhat a seller's market. With, you can assume that those 35%, most of those homes probably did have maybe more than one offer. So certainly a large percent of them did. Then for King County, if a seller listed their home between August 18th and August 31st, they had a 46% chance of getting under contract within the first 14 days. So nearly half. So still a strong market in King County. And I will say in King County, I need to bring this up, is this data varies widely within the county. So the east side typically has a bit of a stronger market. So Bellevue, Redmond, Woodinville, Kirkland, those areas have a stronger market than, let's say, Auburn. Not to pick on Auburn, but their data is much weaker in Auburn.
Right.
So overall, it's taking longer. Their days on market to get under contract are longer. And then Seattle, too, also lags behind the east side. And the north end of King County has also got a fairly strong market. So the east side and the north end carry King County, bring it up, elevate it a bit. And then you get down into South King County and things are softer down there. So, and in downtown Seattle. So that's, I like to bring that up because, when buyers are out there practically making offers, so you got to imagine that if you're in Kirkland or Bellevue or Woodinville or Redmond areas, even Sammamish is just cooking. If you're making offers in those areas, there is a higher chance that you're going to have to compete for that house than if you're looking down in Auburn, let's say, at a riverfront listing on the Green River. Less chances of competing, just saying.
Well, you know, the funny thing is, you mentioned it though. It only takes two. You know, once you get that second offer.
It does only take two. And like another agent was saying, she's like, I had a listing on the market for 7 days. Nobody came to look at it except a few people during the open house. And that is my exact same story. And she goes, on day 9, I had multiple offers. And she's like, I don't get it. And I'm like, I don't either. How come no one looked at my listing the first 7 days on the market? I think I had somebody through the following Thursday. So I listed on a Thursday. Nobody came through until Thursday, just after that first week. So I did have one group through each open house, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, but that's a lot of work to just have one group through. And I had a lot of marketing out there, lots and lots of marketing. So that was a little disappointing, but we have to remember when we're looking at front properties is that those are necessarily going to be priced higher than their neighboring counterparts that are not on the water. And so that value is very buyer specific. It just depends on how much the buyer wants that river frontage and if they have a use for it. Right. So our salmon fishermen around here, there's got to be some of those guys that might like to buy a house on the Green River.
Well, but you know what? Let's push this slide up because this is a cool slide you sent over to me about the property.
Yeah. Put the flyer. Yeah, there you go. So I called it a riverfront oasis. And the photos on the flyers show the property back into the river. There is a fenced yard though. So the last owners, the current sellers, they fenced that backyard because they had dogs that goes outside the so, and they used what do you call it, cyclone fencing or anyway, the stuff you see through. not a solid wood fence, right?
Well, look at that.
The pictures,
look at that interior. It's really nice.
It's really pretty. Yep. And they had it all blown out white, and it's just really gorgeous. Really gorgeous on the inside. And it's got newer windows. The windows are from 2017, I believe.
Nice.
And and the river is just beautiful. It's just gorgeous. And across the river, you guys, there's no houses. There's an island that gets submerged at a certain point in the year, but there's just trees on the other side of the river. It's a beautiful, beautiful scene. And bald eagle has a nest in one of the fir trees across the river. So, it's kind of cool. It's kind of cool.
Looks very peaceful. Very peaceful.
Yeah. There's a lot to love about that. And that area is fenced, 100% fenced on that dike, so that people don't have public access.
Yeah.
So
that's good.
It's fenced down to the water on the inhabited side. I always call the island an uninhabited island. Hi guys.
Oh, God.
Anyway, and then we still have 46% of sellers in King County setting offer review dates. That's probably a mistake if you're down in Auburn. I shouldn't be picking on Auburn. I really shouldn't. I gotta stop doing that. I gotta
pick on Renton up here. Pick on Renton. We got plenty to pick on. Go ahead. Feel free.
Well, I will say they're closing the freeway again for my open house this weekend. They're closing from Sunset down to 160, the road that goes to Auburn. That's all going to be
167.
Yeah.
Oh, how do you get there then?
I don't know. They got a detour set up, but somehow I got to get to Auburn. So I'm hoping Waze will help me.
Oh, you're gonna have to go down I-5.
No, I'm not doing that. I don't like I-5. Nope, not doing I'm not doing I-5. Yeah. And then King County 9. So the median days on market is up to 9 days now. So it is now over a week. So less than half the homes are getting sold within the first 7 days. So that's been a tide that's been shifting. And we've got 1.8 months supply of inventory in King County. So inventory is creeping up there a little bit. I did notice something though when I was writing up my stats by cat this week. More listings went under contract this past 7 days than the previous 7 days by a long shot. Like it was market. So the market picked up this past week in King County. County. As a matter of fact, that's all the counties across the board. That's a true statement. I think Mason only had one extra house sell, but Mason's a small county population wise.
Well, I can vouch for that, Kat. I mean,
because your phone's been ringing off the hook, right, Dan?
It's been ringing. Yeah, it's been just all of a sudden, it's like the switch got turned on. Don't know what happened. But
somebody turned on the water faucet.
Somebody turned the light. Yeah, they turned on the lights.
Those lower interest rates make things a lot more attractive. You know, it makes buyers qualify for more money. So the houses that are currently on the market don't have that baked in. So, you know, if we see interest rates stay where they're at now, stabilize this fall and not come down much more. See interest rates continue to come down. But if they start going up, then we would see some continued softening. So more people would have to, you know, continue to reduce price, etc. So for some reason, I'm noticing this gel today. I got to tell you, I'm not a fan. I don't have my phone high enough up. Anyway, jeez. Okay, Snohomish, what about that?
How about Snohomish?
Okay. So 37% of sellers, 37% of sellers in Snohomish County went under contract within the first 7 days on the market if they listed their home between September 1st and September 7th. So 37% is an okay number for Snohomish County. They used to consistently be ahead of King County, but they have been lagging in the polls the last couple of months. Things softened a bit in Snohomish County. We had 50% of sellers get under contract within the first 14 days on the market if they listed their home between August 18th and August 31st. So very strong second week numbers for Snohomish County. So that's a really good market going into fall. That's a very good market. So still strong for sellers. 34% of sellers in Snohomish County set offer review dates. So that number has consistently come down, and it's, you know, pretty stable now. I think it's still worth setting an offer review date in Snohomish County if you have something that's very special about the property.
Yeah.
So median days on market is very telling. So this data is gathered after the property is closed, so it lags 30 to 60 days. But median days on market in Snohomish County is up to 14 days. So it's not unusual to see a house in Snohomish County still on the market day 14. And Snohomish County has 1.5 months supply of inventory. So, and for this time of year, that's not terrible. We do have a slower market for sellers this year than we did last year. So I always think that's an interesting to take a look at. So what do you think? Should we do Pierce?
Let's do Pierce County.
Ask me questions, guys. If you have any lending questions, ask me questions and I'll ask Dan. Anyway, I don't know if anybody's out there. Can I see it? Doesn't look like, I don't know that I'm actually on. Am I on? I think maybe I'm on. Yeah, I guess I see people joining. Okay. All right.
Okay.
I just make sure somehow I didn't lose my connection on the internet or something. Okay, here we go. Pierce County. 33% of sellers got under contract within the first 7 days on the market if they listed their home between September 1st and September 7th in Pierce County. So again, that for Pierce County, that's a strong number for Pierce County.
Yes, it is.
38% of sellers got under contract within the first 14 days on the market if they listed their home between August 18th and August 31st. Not as strong. Only 22% of sellers set offer review dates. And the average market, the median market time in Pierce County is up to 17 days.
Ooh.
And their month supply of inventory, their MSI is up to 1.8 months.
That's the same as King.
What's that?
That's the same as King, right?
That's right. And Snohomish, you would think, because it's got lower MSI, you would think that they would have a little bit stronger market than King County does. And their 2-week data actually did outperform King County.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
That's good.
So not that it's a race or competition. Just the facts.
Well,
Mason County.
Mason County, that's the next one on the hit list. Here it is.
So 24% of sellers in Mason County got under contract within the first 7 days on the market if they listed their home between September 1st and September 7th. So that's a quarter. We got 36% of sellers got under contract within the first 14 days on the market in Mason County if they listed their home between August 18th and August 31st. So that's pretty good numbers for Mason. 7% of sellers set offer review dates. Mason County is up to 29 days, median days on the market. So half the homes are selling in 29 days or less. The other half. 0.2 months supply of inventory, and they've been about that for changing a whole lot.
Yeah,
that's been kind of been where Mason's been for a while. So okay, how about Skagit? Should we talk Skagit?
Let's talk Skagit.
Hi guys, thanks for the heart. Hey Dan.
Hey Kat.
We're gonna talk Skagit. Yeah. Hey. Should we talk Skagit?
Let's talk Skagit County.
Okay, we'll give Skagit some love. All right. 21% of sellers got under contract within the first 7 days on the market if they listed their home between September 1st and September 7th. 28% of sellers got under contract in Skagit County between August 18th and August 30th. And their median days on market now is up to 21 days.
21 days, yeah.
Oh. And they've got exactly 2 months supply of inventory. So in all these counties, except for Mason, they all sold significantly more homes the last 7 days than the previous 7. So let's do Kitsap County. So
let's hit Kitsap. Beautiful Kitsap County. It's beautiful over there.
It is beautiful Kitsap County. Yes. For my Dunston, Bremerton, all those good towns over there, Silverdale. 34% of sellers got under contract within the first 7 days on the market if they listed their home between September 1st and September 7th. 39% of sellers in Kitsap County got under contract within the first 14 days on the market if they listed their home between August 18th and August 31st. Only 15% of sellers set offer review dates. And they are up to a median of 14 days on the market and 1.6 months supply of inventory in Kitsap County.
You know, not so bad for Kitsap County.
Oh, Kitsap has been running very, very close to Snohomish, their data. Yeah. And I think it's interesting. They have not gotten a lot of year over year appreciation in Kitsap County, which kind of surprised me. But I think what happened is during COVID, when people were moving more over to Kitsap, one they could get more house for the more house for the dollar, but also I think because of COVID, people wanted more space, and so I think they also wanted more views. I sold quite a few water view type properties during COVID. People able to not have to come into the office anymore. And so that drove people out of the city. And now I think we see an influx of people coming back to this area. And so I think it's added a little bit to the appreciation in counties. And then I think it's probably taken away maybe some potential appreciation from the outer line counties, which I believe probably had a little better appreciation during the COVID years. I'd have to look at that data to know for sure, but that's my theory. So you know me and my theories, and I have to go check.
Well, you're almost always right, Kat. You're spot on. I can't remember the last time you've been wrong. You got this down.
I did question my pricing on that Auburn home, though. I'll tell you that was tricky to price.
That was a tricky one, but I still don't. I think you priced it right. I think it was just one of those markets that was kind of an anomaly.
It's kind of one of those things where you go, what is happening with the real estate market? Why is nobody looking? Well, at a certain point, you kind of guess, like you're second guessing yourself. Like, are we not active?
Phone calls. I gotta say, there was a lot of folks that came out of hibernation this week. They really did. I'm
Coming back into the market, yeah, from getting out of it for a while.
Yes, yeah. And so I think you're going to start to see that reflected in the numbers going forward, like next week's numbers and the week after and all that kind of stuff, because I do think you're going to see a lot more people back on the market this weekend.
Like yeah. I think this weekend should be a good push.
Yeah.
There was a lot of people that came back on the market last week, but hopefully this weekend is a good weekend for real estate.
Yeah,
I think the weather's going to be okay, especially on Saturday. It's not supposed to rain until Sunday. And so hopefully, and of course the game is on Sunday. So hopefully we get a good turnout at the open house on Saturday.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you one thing. That means I got to get my sleep tonight. I can't goof around. I got to go out and, Saturday's going to be a busy day.
Yeah. What are you going to do on Saturday, Dan? You're going to go to open houses?
I'm going to go to open houses, yes. That's what
you coming to Auburn?
Maybe I will.
I don't know. You might not be able to squeeze that, kind of mileage in.
I don't know. I'll have to figure out how I'm going to get there, though. If I can't take 167.
I know. Hopefully it's not like I'm going to leave about 2 hours early.
I'm
going to leave about 9:30. It's not quite an hour drive with the freeway if there's no traffic, but I'm not sure what that's going to look like. And if I wait too late, then I might wind up not getting there on time, and that's just a bad feeling.
Yeah.
So I like to be to my open houses on time. Sometimes you have somebody pull in the driveway, even if you have, even if you're running late and you change it, right? You could have somebody push it back for you. Sometimes you'll have people show up and sit in the driveway going, "What happened to the agent?"
So. That did happen to one of your open houses here.
It's actually happened to me twice lately. Yeah, because I had to push back my opening time because something went wrong with the commute getting there. And so I try to make that adjustment more than an hour before, but a lot of times I don't know until I'm into the commute, whatever direction I'm going that particular day. The one day I was coming from Auburn and trying to get to South Everett and got hung up in traffic. And they had closed.
Well, that's a long drive. I mean, there's a lot of things that could.
It's like 40 something miles. It's not terrible. It's just if they close the freeway. Don't close the freeway on days I'm doing open houses, especially double headers.
That's right. That's right.
And that's what happened. So anyway.
Oh gosh.
Well, good. It sounds like you got some loans cooking over there, Dan.
Well, things are happening. We've got a lot of stuff sort of percolating, and a lot of folks that I haven't talked to in a while, I'm talking to again, and we're looking at houses. So no, it's good. It's a good weekend, and good. I think you're going to see that reflected in the housing numbers. The stats that we look at every week. I think you're going to start to see some really positive signs moving forward. The thing is, I hope you don't mind me kind of going off on a bit of a tangent, but not too much. But
no, on your tangent, I like.
Okay, you kind of froze up for a second there. Hey, but the I do think, we've already seen it the first 2 days of this week, and there was some talk about today about rates that don't go straight down. So don't be shocked if we start, after the read a bit that came from David Rosenberg, who's a well-known economist, and he did a bit of a study, and he shared some interesting history on the 10-year yield performance. This is on the 10-year Treasury note, okay, following a 50 basis point rate cut. Okay, so if you took a look at the October 8th period, 50 basis points, and a similar yield played out for 4. So we had rates going up after the October 8th, 2008 rate cut for 4 days. Okay. And then, on the October 8th, yields rose for 10 days. And then later that month, they had another 50 basis point cut. And they continued to rise after that second 50 basis point cut for 4 days after that. So it's not necessarily going to go straight down from here just because you see
Yeah.
in the headlines that the Fed has cut rates.
Right.
Um,
So it may
but
not directly impact mortgage rates, is what you're trying to say.
well, yeah, and there's some things going on that the traders, the traders have gotten a little bit ahead of themselves, if you want to know the truth, right? And so the rates on a 10-year Treasury got down to like 360, and they closed the day at 374. And so I wouldn't be surprised to see rates creeping back up a little bit before they start dipping again. So,
Yeah.
I mean, just if you see that happening, don't worry. Rates are gonna, they're lower now than they were a month ago, and they're gonna keep going down.
Yeah.
So it's
Overall, the trend should be downwards.
overall the trend should be downward and is downwards right now. I mean, there's no question about it.
Right.
So, if you look back to late April, we've come down from 5% down to where we're at right now at 360 or 374. So that's a pretty big drop. And, we'll probably, and the Fed also, what they did do this week is they kind of tipped their hand and they said that they're basically going to cut rates another 150 basis points on the Fed funds rate. 200 points total, 50 that we just did. And then they're going to do the other 150 in basically 25-point increments, unless the economy gets, bad, right? If they get really bad employment numbers, they'll probably pump it up to 50 basis point cut.
Right.
But what people should expect is another 25 basis point cut. I think it's the first week in November, another 25 basis point cut in December, and then another 25 basis point cut, which I think would be early February. Late
Like
January,
another 0.5% this year.
Another 0.5% this year. Looks like it's pretty much baked into the cake. And then probably for the first another 100 basis points the first 4 meetings of next year, which would carry us, I think, into August or September.
Mm-hmm.
So by September next year at this time, we're probably going to be about 150 basis points lower. That's a very reasonable estimate. So, good things happen when the rates come down, and I think it's going to be a real positive for the market. I think you're going to see more inventory coming online because the people that were kind of locked into their mortgages are less locked into them. So I think you'll see more, more supply.
Yeah, there should be. I would anticipate inventory next year being higher than this year. I think that's what Barry was saying, right? Barry Habib is that progressively each year since the rate hikes started, we, with the first year when we hit 6%, inventory sank to historical lows, essentially.
Active listings really shrunk. Yeah, and that should reverse.
Yeah. And so what happened is that we had inventory just dry up. No one did a local move. It was only people selling estate sales and or people, having to move because they're going into assisted living, or people moving for work or to be near family. So those were the main reasons for people to move that first year after the interest rates started, going up so high. So that would have been 2023. That would have been last year, would have been the first year right after the 2022 crazy rate hikes that went on. So the inventory last year was historically low. And this year I anticipated, and Barry Habib is, saying the same thing, that we would see more people getting into the market, progressively over the next 5 years is what, Dan and I had talked about in 2022. And I think we're seeing that bear out. I don't know exactly how many more listings there are right now than there were last year, or the total number for the year yet. We don't have that, but I could certainly take a look, year to date for both years and see where that sits. But I would imagine that we're at least 10, 15, 20% higher on listings this year, the number of listings, right? The number of listings. And so I would anticipate that same trend to continue next year. So we'll have more new buyers coming into the market. We'll have more people that have interest rates over 5% on their homes, which means they'll be able to start moving locally. So people that bought late 2022, maybe they've got a 6.5% interest rate, and they could totally turn around if they felt like they were outgrowing their home or wanted to move locally. They could trade that mortgage in for a new mortgage and be okay.
Right.
You could sell your house and you could also make money, because we've also had appreciation. I think it might be tough. As long as you bought it the last half of 2022, you'd probably be okay.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, that's going to be a lot more of that going forward. So we'll start to open up the inventory a little bit. You're still going to have a big percentage of Americans that are really locked into their 2 and 3% interest rates. And those are going to be tough, be people that are may dig their heels in. So there'll be a certain amount of supply out there that won't be available to purchase, because people will want to hang on to their super low payments. And people that have those low payments, now that housing prices are so high and rents are so high, if you can come up with your down payment, you can almost hang on to your original home. So if you've owned it for 30 years, 20, 30 years, and maybe you don't even have a payment on it anymore, but even if you've only owned it 5 or 7 years, or just 3, 4 years, when you've gotten that low interest rate payment, you could turn around, in most cases, rent it out and buy a second home, for yourself. So on a new residence, and hang on to that as an investment property. And that can make a lot of sense, because at some point you're going to have that thing paid off.
That's absolutely right. And nothing wrong with having renters paying off your mortgage.
No, not at all. I mean, that can be a great way to build wealth.
That's right.
So it's actually a very good strategy. So, and it really works very handily for anybody who bought in the last, anybody who's got a mortgage, with that low interest rate,
right?
Or they bought their house far enough back that the payment would be relatively low. So probably 5 years or more, regardless of what their interest rate is.
Yeah.
So, but that can be a nice way to build wealth. And you can do that possibly every 4 or 5 years, just depending on how long it takes you to build up another down payment, save for the down payment. So anyway, well, what do you think, Dan? Have we talked ourselves, pontificated quite enough for today?
I think we have. We're going to see where rates are next week when we get back together again, and we'll see what the weekend brought.
Yeah. Well, this is Friday, you guys. We're supposed to do this on Monday. You can tell we kicked the can down the road as far as we could kick it.
Right.
It's now Friday night, 5:30. Oh my God.
So, sometimes you got to do what you got to do. Business comes calling. What can you say?
That's right.
Okay,
Dan.
This
was fun. Thanks for doing that.
Oh, thank you. Thanks, Kat. And we'll be back next week.
Okay, we'll sign off.
Maybe Monday, maybe Tuesday.
Maybe Monday, maybe Tuesday. We'll see how that goes. Okay, I'm going to see if I can get my